Hello everyone. Welcome to the third episode of our The Art of Reading podcast. In the first episode, I talked about which books we will start reading with, and in the second episode, I mentioned that reading is a journey. In this section, I will talk about how we will determine the books we will read. That is, how we will choose the book we will read next. As I said in the previous episodes, I'm not talking about how this is done. I'm just sharing my own experiences. In the second episode, I talked about Donna Rosenberg's World Mythology. This is a book that outlines the mythologies of many cultures. Thanks to these books, which provide general information about the branches of a subject, you can decide which branch will attract your attention more and make a choice. For example, when you read this book, if you are more interested in Egyptian mythology, you can search for books about it. Or Brian Maggie's book, The Story of Philosophy. This is also one of the reference books. It will help you decide which branch of philosophy will interest you the most. It's a method. Another method is to follow magazines, like literary magazines. Of course, now we may say Instagram accounts because this is much easier. Following the Instagram accounts of your favorite literary magazines and publishers not only gives you information about the newly released books, you can also look at the subject of the magazine for that month or week, if it's a weekly magazine, the author of the month they are dealing with, and as I always say, if you are interested, you can choose accordingly. Before, I used to determine the books I wanted to read and buy 10 by 10 because it is cheaper when you buy it in bulk from the internet. But when I got to the 8th, 9th or sometimes 7th book, I wouldn't want to read the next book anymore. Because after 6 books, you will be a different person. Or let's not exaggerate, you will be wondering about other things. That's why I don't buy new books until I've finished or nearly finished a book. When I read one book, I decide on the next. As a method other than the previous methods, the book I am reading can also give an idea about the next one. For example, the book you are reading may refer to the other books, evoke associations, or if you like it, you may think of looking at other books of the same author. In the previous episodes, I shared the names of the books that I came across in my own reading journey and that I liked. I would like to share in this episode too. This time, I'll recommend a few books on philosophy. Plato series, the books in which Plato wrote the dialogues of his teacher Socrates. With the Socrates method, that is, by asking the right question, it makes the other person find the answer to a question. These are the books that I read with pleasure and that open one's horizons. I can say all of Hermann Hesse's books, but I recommend Sparta first. Staring at the Sun, Overcoming the Terror of Death by Irvin Yalom. He's a psychiatrist, is one of the books I would recommend. See you in the next episode.